Good morning and welcome to another conversation. And today I have with me Sharon Castle from Mindfit Life Coaching Academy in South Africa. Thank you for being here. And the question I have today is what helps in times of war?
Thank you so much for inviting me, Yael. I really love just talking about the subject, of course. And interestingly, when you talk about war, although I've never lived through a real war, we've had many moments where it's felt warlike in our community. Living in South Africa, which I know you know about South Africa, we have some challenges. And a couple of years ago, 3, 4 years ago, we had a few things that happened in our community where we literally had to take up arms, warlike, because we were being threatened in a way with our food supplies and our safety. And there was an attempt, a political thing that went on. So we had to barricade our community. So we had our men standing guard on bridges, literally those that had been through the military, armed with their weapons, while the women were at home making food to keep them going through the night. And this went on for a couple of weeks. So all the stores shut down. We had very little access to anything. The thing that really helped was the community. I saw through the idea of we are alone, and I saw how connected we really are as human beings and as a community, and how incredibly present people can be with each other when they feel this connection. So for me, what really helped was to be a support. And there were so many times where I felt I could do more, but I knew what to do for myself was to listen to those who were standing guard, those that were out there, in a way of protection. And I had a conversation with the three principals, many of them at that time, but one person who really stood out was Rob Cook. And because he'd been in the military, I called him on the eve of this thing all breaking, and he said, "There's nothing for you to do but just to be there." And he was so right. And it might not seem the most practical solution to what helps, but listening, number one, deep listening to those who were feeling threatened more than me, assisting, helping, being present with those people, saying yes to the community. And from the time that happened till now, I've seen all of those beautiful connections that were created then, because we didn't have any other reason but to keep ourselves safe. And now those connections that were forged at that time have created so much more for all of us that are part of this community. And I think just knowing and understanding that everything has its season, and that season passed, and that threat passed, and now their peace has been restored, and it's still South Africa, and there are certain elements that will not change in the immediate future. But what has changed is this internal sense of what war feels like, and realizing that we can make up so much more about it through our thinking, rather than just being present with people, listening to people, and allowing what those people are feeling for us to feel it too, and then to take a moment to pause and to realize that we can go to, what if this, and from our history, we would be justified in doing that, but not to allow ourselves to stay in that place of, yes, it can turn out really badly. We don't know. We have a 50% chance at everything, every single one of us. And I've seen how the love and the presence and the listening, and the ability to take a moment to breathe, to pause, between that extreme trigger of what's going to happen to me, to my family, to my community, to I can only be present and listen and help and say yes in the moment. And then the next moment will come and I'll deal with it in real time as it arises. To me, in real time, that's the thing that helps the most.
I love in real time. I think that you and I and many people that I'm having this conversation with have this sense, because we experienced it ourselves, of what it means real time. Like, what does real time mean? Does real time mean all what I'm thinking about will happen? Or how do you help yourself or the people that you work with come back to real time? I know how I do it, and many people say, but how do I get back? I'm trying, and I'm like, that's exactly what I don't do. That's exactly, and it's like a game of the mind to try to come back. So how do you help the people that you help with when you said deep listening in present moment? How do you do that, or how do you not do that?
I think it's simple in its understanding and probably feels more complex when you don't have an understanding of how the mind works. And the first thing I would say is it's in the feeling for sure. The feeling gives you that sense of, am I really in danger or not? And I think the subtlety of that feeling is something that we can familiarize ourselves with. And until we know that, we'll probably get stuck in the loop of it's always so bad and it's never going to get any better. But just having lived for the years that I've lived has given me a great indicator that everything passes, everything stops, and another new thing comes along. So the feeling, number one, is that subtle sense. And once you get familiar of the difference of that, then it becomes easier. But in the beginning, what keeps you in the loop is the trying to get back there, like you say, that intellectualizing of, no, but I don't want to be here. You're here already. That's who you are. So just being with that in real time means that it will shift. And once you can do that even once, then that little trust muscle, you build a muscle by picking up a weight over and over and over again. And then that trust begins to be a greater indicator for you rather than the thinking. It's that feeling. It is subtle in the beginning, and then it becomes more obvious over time. So it doesn't matter what goes on, whether it is a real threat of an impending war or just some kind of life thing. That feeling allows you just to take it's a pause, it's a moment of just being in it and recognizing it and becoming familiar with both of those, being at that crossroads, right? I'm going to go this way, I'm going to go this way. But when I stand at the crossroads, I can just take a moment, a breath, a pause. And then from there, sense the feeling, the sensation in my body of what is right. And you can't know it until you're in it. It's very hard to describe, even here. The best I have for now.
It's amazing because what comes up for me, and it's so interesting because I'm having this conversation with so many people, and of course the people that I work with privately, but with everyone something else comes up in the moment. So, like this crossroad that you're talking about, you're
Mm.
saying it's kind of like getting familiar with this muscle and kind of creating a new anchor that I already have inside, but basically growing it. It's like growing the bus stop I want to live in before I even see that I can choose where to go. But making that, growing that bus stop is kind of, for me, what it created is making this space, creating the space of bigger trust in myself, in who I already am, and growing that.
Yes. It's that inner guidance.
Yeah.
It's knowing that number one, which is usually more intellectual
Yeah.
in the beginning.
Yes.
Then trusting that, which takes what would appear as effort, but is actually more of an intention. And then living through the experience and coming out on the other side, now you have another level of consciousness about what you've just experienced, your lived experience. And so we get to show up and, be with people who maybe haven't had all of those experiences, or some that have and are still in that loop innocently, and to be with them in real time and say, yeah, me too. Both my hands are up, me too.
Yes.
Give some comfort.
Yes. Wow, I think that I love the way you share that, because it is, I think it is important to reassure people that, for me as well, it started with an understanding in my mind. And it took me a few years to understand that I can, and there will come a time where I didn't know I will experience it physically. I thought I was out of the loop. But then came a time where I went through a breakup. And to make the long story short, I was sitting in the sensation that I was going to die. And the turmoil, the turbulence in my body was so big because of what I made of this breakup, brought up all of my life suffering. And I thought, if I sit with this, my body will explode all over the wall. Like, I saw my body, the blood.
Yeah.
But I remembered everything I learned, and I said, this is the time. I am not living a minute farther without trying it. And I trusted myself so much. And I heard everyone's voice: be with the feeling, follow the feeling, it will take you home. And I sat. And I don't know how long it was, if it was a minute or two, but I pulled myself down from my mind into my body, and the sensation moved around. And then it kind of like came out of my mouth, and it felt like a dragon shooting fire.
Wow.
And then I felt this sensation. I felt so quiet and loved
Mm.
and safe. And I felt like I came back home, and I looked around, and my father wasn't there. My partner wasn't there. No one was there. And that's when I knew, oh, this is me. This is who I am. This is what everyone was pointing to. And from that moment forward, I knew that I am free, that I never have to be afraid of a feeling. And I started stopping everywhere. Whenever a feeling came up, I found myself sitting on the side of the road, being like, sitting with friends in a coffee shop, having, crying, they're like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, yeah, just something coming through. But that safety, that I know that whatever happens to me, I would be able to deal with it in the moment if I come back and just allow myself to be who I am with what's happening right now. So that is very powerful.
It really is. And that's not to say that it won't happen again. and
Oh,
again and again.
yes.
So you forget momentarily, and then you can hopefully just sit, and then you remember. But it is, it's like a wave. It's up and down and up and down, So
Wow. Thank you so much, Sharon.
you're welcome. It's been such a delight.
Yes, for me as well. Thank you.
Thank you.